Welcome back to Brojo Online. Today I'm going to record a podcast that will also be a series of videos about what they failed to teach you in school. Next big lesson that they didn't teach you in school is confrontation skills. In fact, they taught you the opposite. If you tried to confront your teacher at school, you usually got punished. That's not a good fucking education, right? You're being discouraged from challenging authority about things that you think are wrong. Anybody else see a problem with that? You gotta understand, no one else is here to save you. Life is a negotiation. You either win or you lose, or it's a win-win situation. If you don't know how to confront, you're going to lose. Confrontation is about expressing the truth. It's about getting your truth out there, even if it's going to ruffle up some feathers. That's all. It's not necessarily about winning even. It's just making sure that you respect yourself by expressing yourself. It's making sure that no battle goes unfought. You don't surrender. There's 3 things in this order that you should aim for. The primary goal in a confrontation is to express your truth and respect yourself. If nothing else, at least get that part done. Even if you go crashing down in flames and everyone votes against you, at least make sure that you stood up for yourself. 2, if possible, if you're working with somebody who can achieve this, go for a win-win outcome. This doesn't mean necessarily compromising yourself, but try to find a way for this confrontation to end where you both walk away being glad that it happened. But 3, if you're up against someone who's unwilling or unable to meet you at that win-win situation, at least try to not lose. Stand up for yourself, stand your ground, hold strong, and make sure that if you're going to lose the fight, it's because they beat you, not because you surrendered. So the key to a good confrontation is to express your truth boldly, concisely, directly, and then step back, shut the fuck up, let them respond, and listen with the same amount of respect that you'd want someone to listen to you. That combination leads to the best possible outcomes. You've got to let go of the need to win. So winning might be getting the outcome you want, convincing them, looking good in front of an audience, sounding articulate. There's all sorts of different versions of winning when it comes to a confrontation. That's not the point. Even if you end up looking stupid, the point is to express your truth and go for that win-win outcome. Now, key thing to understand with confrontations, there's never a right time to do it. Most people are too agreeable and don't stand up for themselves because there just doesn't seem to be the right segue, the right introduction, the green light to go ahead with this thing. There never is. When you confront properly, it's going to feel like you're throwing a bucket of ice water into a harmonious situation, like you're ruining the mood or this wasn't the appropriate time. It's always going to feel like that, so just do it anyway. There's never a good time, for example, to tell someone that you cheated on them. There's never a time of day that's going to work out well. So you might as well tell them at 3 a.m. in the morning or 7 o'clock over breakfast or whenever it occurs to you to tell them, because there's not going to be a better time. In terms of how you confront someone, short preparation and then be very clear and concise. Short preparation means, look, I got something to tell you, it might be a bit uncomfortable. You might want to take a seat. That's a short preparation, no more than a single sentence. And then tell them concisely, not the big long-winded story with heaps of suspense and all these unnecessary characters and it's all sugar-coated and you're not really sure what the fuck is actually being talked about. Just give them the raw, cold facts. I didn't like it when you did this, or I was upset with you when you did that, or I disagree with you on that opinion. Just, again, it could be a single sentence. That's how concise a good confrontation is. If you're talking for more than a few minutes, you're overdoing it. It should also be only a single point. You don't confront someone with a battery list of all their grievances all at once. Just choose the one that matters most, dismiss the rest, and focus only on that one. And do not punish them with other past crimes. You came here with one thing to talk about, stick to that one thing, and make sure that they do too. Now, no blames or accusations here, alright? Your decisions in your life lead up to this moment, so when you do a confrontation, there's none of you made me feel or you caused me harm. That's not true. Your decisions brought you to this situation, so if it harms you, that's your fault. So when you go to express yourself, make sure you take responsibility for you. So when I saw you do that, I got upset, not you upset me. Right? I responded with being upset. That's me. Maybe I'm too sensitive. I don't even know. I know it's not your fault, because the fact that you're even in my life is a result of my decisions. It's like the craziest thing, being angry at your child for them breaking a glass or something like that. It's like, dude, you had the kid. What did you think was going to happen? You can't blame the kid for you delivering the kid to the world. So anything that happens with that kid is a choice you made. So you can say, look, it gave me a big fright and it upset me when you broke the glass. But you don't say you're a bad kid for breaking the glass. The kid didn't ask to be born. Take responsibility for your decisions. So a little framework you can use is like, when I observed whatever the thing is that bothers you, when I saw that thing, I reacted with whatever emotional response and narrative that you had. And you might give them a little bit more, because I have a tendency to do this, or I have a belief about this. So it might be like, when you broke the glass, I got shocked and upset because, I'm so fussy about things being tidy. You see how easy that is to receive? I'm taking total responsibility for it while still confronting your behavior. But at no point am I attacking you personally, because this isn't really about you, it's about me. Allow a discussion if the other person's rational and compassionate, but do not fight or defend this. If the other person counterattacks, just let that wash past you like water. In fact, the first reaction should be basically ignored. Remember, your confrontation is to talk about an issue that you brought up. If they counter with another issue, that should be a separate conversation. And I like to say, we'll park that. I'll be like, yeah, I can see you're upset by that. We'll come back to that after we've discussed my thing. We're just going to park that for now. So you keep coming back to that initial confrontation that you want to bring up. But look, if they want to have a discussion, if they're like, I'm not sure it's really fair that you're confronting me about that, but I'm open to talk about it, so on, cool, have a discussion. But if like, well, you did this and you're a boomer, conversation's over. Move on, come back after the heat's died down. Which brings me to the point of never take the initial reaction seriously. When you give someone a confrontation, most people are untrained in it because, especially in Western society, we're so scared of confrontation that nobody gets enough expertise in it. So when you confront people, you're going to get the worst out of them some of the time. And you can just kind of brush that off as like an initial shock reaction. What you really want to measure is not so much the reaction to your confrontation, but the ongoing behavioural change that happens afterwards. Do they behave better? Do they respect you more? Is there some sort of indication that they've taken you seriously and they're going to work with you on this thing? Even somebody who reacts well to the confrontation might not change their behaviour. It might just be a manipulation on their part. So ignore reactions and look for ongoing behaviour. And here's the key thing to think about with confrontations. No one who's healthy, confident and good for you is going to react poorly to you confronting them. Keep that in mind. A healthy, confident person who's good for you to keep in your life is never going to punish you for confronting them. Even if you do it poorly, even if you fuck it up, they're still going to be like, alright, I'm listening. They might disagree with you. That's not a punishment. They might have a different point of view. That's not a punishment. But if they then attack you or guilt trip you or try to harm you or take revenge in some way, you can step back and go, this person shouldn't even be in my life. Problem solved.